I'm for the fighting. James, put that in. Zaki Mallah is for the fighting.
It should frighten everybody. Because if it becomes a sectarian war, it's not about frightening me. It should be frightening the people like yourselves.
You pushed me. You pushed me.
People like myself who've got families. It's only a matter of time if it spills out in the streets and innocent people will get hurt.
We recognise there are tensions in the community.
We're going, sir. I can't, bro. It's better on me. And you pushed me.
As a result of what's happening in Syria in particular.
Syria is engaged in a brutal civil war. President Bashar al-Assad is from the Alawite sect, an offshoot of Shiite Islam. In 2011, he suppressed protests by the Sunni majority. This ignited a rebellion. The Sunnis are determined to overthrow Assad. Both sides have committed atrocities. Now, the shockwaves of the religious war between Sunnis and Shias is being felt 14,000 kilometres away in Australia.
I'm obviously born and raised in Melbourne. Melbourne's never had sectarian wars. It's only escalated over the last year or two because of the events that are occurring in Syria. The branches of the Muslim religion have been amplified by over 100%. So therefore, people who weren't extremists are becoming extremists. People that weren't fundamentalists are now becoming fundamentalists.
Ali Daoud is an Alawite Muslim. He believes his religious affiliation almost cost him his life.
He said, "We're going to close you down, you Alawite dog."
Ali was serving an elderly lady when a large group of men raided his sweet shop brandishing weapons.
If you have to have fear of opening up a business that you want to do, then there's something completely wrong with Australia.
Ali's friend, another Alawite Muslim, was more unlucky. His house was firebombed. He's too frightened to appear on camera. And watch as a man throws a Molotov cocktail into this Melbourne car yard. This time the victim was a Sunni supporter of the Syrian rebels. And in Canberra, anti-regime demonstrators trashed the Syrian embassy.
We've all been told by our elders to relax, to let it go, to let it go, to let it go. And that's fine. We've kept to the extent where nobody's retaliating. But it'll only last a certain time. So in the moment, it's in the government's hand. In the moment, it's in certain bodies' hands. In the moment, it's in the police's hands. But if the end result shows of no outcome, then it will spill into the streets.
Last year's Hyde Park riots saw Muslims unite in protest over an anti-Islam film. The fear is the conflict in Syria is turning a group of some Australian Muslims against each other. Shia against Sunni, Wahhabi against Alawite.
The government itself is allowing this into Australia. It's changing Australia itself. Whether it's Muslim, whether it's any religion. By allowing fundamentalist extremists, you're allowing this into Australia. You're bringing it into Australian streets. And it's only a matter of time before an attack in Australia will occur. And when it does occur in Australia, they'll have no one to blame apart from themselves.
We don't want such violence in Australia. Australia is a peaceful country, and keep it like this.
And yet Jamal Daoud says he lives in fear.
At some stage, I was sleeping with knife under my pillow, because if they will attack and the authorities don't protect you, you need to defend yourself and your family.
Jamal Daoud does not support the forced overthrow of the Alawite president. He says it's a dangerous position to take in suburbs with a strong Sunni presence like Lakemba, Bankstown and Auburn.
Hi guys. G'day, I'm James Thomas from Channel 7.
I'm at a juice shop in Bankstown. The original owner, Ali Asawi, was allegedly threatened, bashed and forced to sell the juice shop for a fraction of its worth to a group of Sunni Muslims, reportedly from the Wahhabi sect.
My understanding is that you got the business very cheap, and
the new owners say they know nothing of the allegations that Ali Asawi was forced from his shop because he was Shia and a supporter of President Assad.
They demanded that he leave the area because the area is predominantly Sunni and he's a Shia.
So they're accusing him of supporting Assad,
Assad regime,
but he's not really.
He's not. I talked to him. He doesn't care. He's one of the Australians who doesn't form an opinion about what's happening in Syria and want to leave what's happening in Syria for Syrians.
Ali Asawi was too scared to talk to us. Jamal is taking a big risk in talking publicly about this issue.
We were threatened.
So we're being
vocally.
watched. We're being watched right now.
Yes.
So this is quite brave of you to come here and talk.
It is.
It sounds fanciful that a street in Sydney could be a no-go zone, and for me it wasn't. But Jamal is a marked man. A crowd gathered and the same people kept walking or driving past us.
Sorry, I'm James Thomas from Channel 7. No, you don't want to have a chat? Okay.
Stares soon became argument.
From last August, you were threatening me. You could not.
I don't even know you.
You could not. Your group of people. Your group like this.
Like
all
this.
of you. You tried. You cannot
tried.
stop.
But you can't do.
You cannot silence me. You cannot silence me. We are in a democracy. This is democracy. If you don't believe in democracy, go back to Saudi Arabia. We don't want you here.
Jamal accuses these people of being Wahhabis, extreme Sunni Islamists that he says have been threatening him for months because he is a supporter of the Assad regime. Before long, and you can see, more onlookers are recruited. And then argument turns to insult.
Do you want us to leave?
Look, you are fine.
As you said, it's a free country. It's you can say whatever you want. That's the reason why we're here as well. It's a free country, as you said.
Well, I think what I don't want is for it to get out of control. So if you want us to leave, you just let me know, because we don't want a situation
You call me
where
terrorist.
it all goes pear-shaped.
If everyone wins,
So you let me know if it's getting...
that he is calling me a terrorist.
These two are clearly not getting along too well.
No, he's calling me a terrorist.
You terrorizing
I am
people.
going to act on this.
We decide to leave anyway. We didn't get far. Before we know it, we're hemmed in, and the temperature is at boiling point.
Hey, you pushed me.
You're standing in front of me.
No, you pushed me.
You're standing in front of me.
Papai, you just pushed me, man. Hey, that's bad, man.
Okay, we're
No,
going to
that's
go.
bad. He pushed me.
All right, well, let's go.
Why you push me for? Why you push me for? Huh? Why you push me for?
I think we should take him out.
Why you push me for? Ya kalb. Why you push me for?
Excuse me, sir, we'll go.
He pushed me, man.
I know.
All right,
I will get the
Shut your mouth. I'm
police
taking
for
the
you
call.
here.
You pushed me. You pushed me.
Okay, we're going to go now.
Didn't you push me?
Can you?
Ya
We're going to
kalb.
go, so can you
Ya kalb.
calm it down? and
يا
then we'll
كلب.
فوق عليك من شرموطة إذا بتفتح ده هلو بوليس
Oh, police.
فوق عليك أخو شرموطة
No, we're going.
ولا كلب. What?
Come on, we're going to go.
What? You spit on me, you dog,
Just
huh?
go. We're
You
going.
spit on me.
We're going, sir.
I don't care, bro. You spit on me.
This one, under arrest, him? Yeah, under arrest for intimidation. Okay, yep, you don't have to do or say anything you don't want. Anything you say or do can be used as evidence. You understand that? You understand that?
What, intimidation? I
Yeah,
didn't.
you're under arrest for intimidation.
I was watching.
Yeah, you're in.
For intimidation, okay? You don't have to say or do anything if you don't want to, do you understand? Do you understand?
Intimidating what?
Yeah, anything you say or do I'll record, do you understand that?
That's no excuse. There's no excuse to commit any violence or criminal offence as a result of the tensions within a community, as a result of what's happening in another country 14,000 kilometres away.
Peter Dean is the counter-terrorism commander for New South Wales Police. He's aware of what's going on.
When you investigate certain things that have occurred and when you get to the bottom of what the motive might be, you learn that people who are committing these types of offences, more likely than not, have some sort of criminal background.
Some religious warriors do have a knack for getting around. Take our Bankstown brawler. Here he is again, a main player in the Hyde Park riots. And it's not the first time this man has had a brush with the police. He can also be found centre stage at the riots.
They should understand that this is part of Australia. If they don't like this country, they should go to Afghanistan, Saudi Arabia, wherever. But here, Australia, this is democracy. You can't intimidate people in the middle of the day. You can't punch people in the middle of the day. You can't.
The violence and the intimidation that Jamal has been subjected to has nothing to do with criminal opportunism and everything to do with deep-seated religious hate stemming from the war in Syria. To prove it, he provided us a copy of a harrowing phone call he received last year.
Hello.
Yeah, blood in, blood out, you motherfuckers. You want to spill blood? We're going to spill blood, you dogs. Yeah, you're listening up there, coppers, eh, you dogs. You want to kill our brothers and sisters overseas? We're going to kill you motherfuckers, you dogs, you aloe shit dogs.
There is no doubt that there is tension in the community here as a result of the conflict in Syria.
While acknowledging the tension, Chairman of the Australian Arabic Council, Roland Jabbour, rejects suggestions of widespread violence.
I think to assume that the conflict in Syria is creating an environment where individuals in the community would feel unsafe walking the streets of Australia, I think would be an unfair assumption.
However, it is an assumption occupying a lot of time within the corridors of our federal law enforcement and security agencies.
People that particularly are of concern are young Australians with a deep commitment to the extremist cause who are going over either to fight or to support the fighting in some other way.
It's very rare for the head of ASIO to speak publicly. But David Irvine and Australia's Attorney-General Mark Dreyfus have real worries that Australian sympathisers may travel to Syria only to return as a threat to our national security.
Some of these Australians, regrettably, are going to assist or work with or join organisations, terrorist organisations that are proscribed in Australia.
Australia's National Security Agency is investigating hundreds of its citizens for allegedly fighting in the Syrian conflict. The government is concerned that it may pose a security risk to Australia.
The rule is there's always two snipers in one building. The sniper that got killed can't fire back because he doesn't want to give away that there's another sniper in that very same building, in that very same lounge room.
Zaki Mallah unwittingly displays the skills he learnt when he went to Syria.
I went to the front line with them. I did everything with them.
Right.
So I know exactly what goes on with the Free Syrian Army.
However, Zaki Mallah denies fighting for the rebels, who are acknowledged to be infiltrated with affiliates of Al-Qaeda.
I did not bear arms and I did not shoot.
This photo of Zaki with a machine gun in Aleppo suggests otherwise. If he fired a shot in anger, he'd be breaking Australian law.
Of course he will say this. He knows that this is illegal.
Zaki can be seen here defending Jabhat al-Nusra, a proscribed terrorist organisation with links to Al-Qaeda.
Why is Jabhat al-Nusra a terrorist organisation? They're not a terrorist organisation. They are in Syria to help the revolutionists.
Are you a terrorist?
No. Are you a terrorist?
Persons like him are a concern in relation to what their actions perceive. In other words, what people in the community here think they're on about.
The authorities know Zaki Mallah very well. In 2003, he was the first Australian to be charged under counter-terrorism laws for planning an attack on ASIO.
I was thrown into Goulburn prison for 2 years, waiting for trial. And then in 2005, I went to trial and the jury acquitted me and found me not guilty.
Now he declares himself Australia's representative of the Free Syrian Army, the Sunni rebels at war with President Assad.
But if I want to go over to Syria, you can connect me with the FSA.
Oh, definitely. I will connect you right now. You'll be in within 24 hours.
Zaki denies recruiting soldiers. He says he's organising passage for Australians wanting to offer humanitarian aid. Melbourne kickboxer Sami Salma went to Syria allegedly for humanitarian reasons. He was killed. Roger Abbas was a champion kickboxer from the same Melbourne gym as Sami. He was reportedly caught in crossfire while giving humanitarian aid in a refugee camp in Syria. His brother-in-law Khalil and sister Sonia heard differently when they travelled, as part of an ABC2 documentary to air this week, to Syria and Turkey to find out what happened to their brother. Sonia still can't believe that Roger could have been a fighter, but she is confused.
I'm worn out, to be honest. I am worn out. If he was a fighter, good on him. I'm proud of him. If I was a man, I'd come and fight.
What's beyond doubt is the massive impact the Syrian conflict has had on their family. Remember the car yard that was firebombed? The victim was Roger Abbas's brother-in-law. Khalil.
They attacked me a couple of times.
Really? Who's they?
Okay, the Assad supporter in Australia.
Right.
Okay, they tried to kill me a couple of times.
5 Australians have been killed in Syria. Back home, ASIO, the AFP and the state police are well aware of the tensions that already exist within parts of the Muslim community. They are anxious to prevent any escalation.
There is an element of tension within the community which we need to deal with and we need to appreciate.
We can feel it, it's just the beginning now. And I'm afraid that, they turn this country into another Afghanistan in decades maybe.
In Melbourne, there's a large percentage of pro-Assad supporters.
Yeah.
So they kind of run the show down there.
Are they welcome up here?
No, definitely not.
If it goes out of hand, with all due respect, no the police, not the government, can stop all happen. This will be a war. It'll be a sectarian war. Police won't have power over a sectarian war.
You provoke someone, the ultimate outcome, the consequences of such an action is you're going to get your head punched in.
This is Australia. We should remember that this is Australia.